Hey. I've gone white. That's so annoying with the mic. I took some notes in my journal the other day. I had this long stream of consciousness of a thought in regards to the internet, social media, kids nowadays, and my other video is still popping to this day about it, but I didn't make another one because I didn't want to make another one just because the first one did well. I didn't want to make it just because. I really wanted to take time and reflect on it and see what else I could add to that and add to the conversation that we've started. So let me grab the journal. I got so many new journals this Christmas. Hada. Right now we're still on our pinky dink here. One moment. Oh, right. So in that last video, I talked about my experience deleting it, and the effect that it has after you delete it. But in this one, I kind of want to go about how to not delete it. Deleting it is the easy part, just staying off of it. How to stay off of it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I wrote down a few points. So how to get off social media. Welcome to the Vibe Vault. I'm Gabby, by the way, if you're new here. Hi. We just have open conversation and we get deep. So if you like my vibe, feel free to subscribe. Welcome. Let's get on to the video. If you're not new here and...
Gabby?
Yes.
Aunt Franny gave Grandma a huge flower arranger of white roses and stuff for Christmas, but she can't keep it because the cat. I don't want it. Do you want it in your room?
Yes. I manifested that. I was at the store today thinking about I wish I had flowers in my room, but I can't find any because it's dead of December. See? Just like magic. All right. Sorry. What was I saying? If you're not new here and you're just tuning in, coming back, welcome back. It's really chill today. We're actually hosting a Greek feast, my family. I'll put in some clips of that. It's so much fun. I love it. All right. Anyway, how to get off social media. First, set an intention. Journal prompt about why. Do a visual of the version of you without it. So not just, delete it and twiddle my thumbs and just look around and wait for the dopamine that dopamine loop to just leave my body. No. You want to be so intentional, and you always want to circle back to that version of you that you visualize without it. Your higher self, if you will. So for me, I'm still not there. And I've been off social media, for over 3 years. And I'm still not that ideal version of me who doesn't have it. Because who is she? She's someone who reads to pass the time. Actual physical books. I read Substack articles and Pinterest stuff, and I listen to playlists and podcasts on Spotify. But, we're building now. We're building to that point. And that's not to say that you'll never fully arrive. Perhaps one day you will, but the goalpost will always kind of move in that regard to your highest self. So yeah, do a visual of who she looks like, who he looks like. What do they do? What does their morning routine look like? Are they hydrated? Do they drink a lot of water? Guys, I got the worst calf cramp in the middle of the day today because I'm on night shift. I day sleep now, and I just woke up. I was yelling. It was bad. Point being, what do they look like? Do they take care of themselves? Do they stay hydrated? Move their body? What's their posture like? What is their self-care routine like? Do they get their hair done monthly? A nice little blowout? Do they get a massage? Do they get their nails done? What does that look like for you? And try not to connect it to how you want to be perceived, but rather who you are and what is aligned with your soul. That's going to be a key piece throughout this entire video. Connect back to what aligns with your soul. All right, next, set the mood. So after you delete it, celebrate. That's a big step to decide to make that habit. So go out to dinner, cheers yourself, light a candle, play dramatic movie soundtrack music as you're like clicking the little quivering, shaking in fear app squares. Make it a moment. There's a pull, I think, that people feel before they delete it, and you can avoid it or you can choose to embrace it. If you don't choose it now, it will take pain to create real change. That's a big lesson I've experienced with God, is that if I don't listen to that intuition and that pull that God tries to signal to my soul, he'll make me choose the hard way. You can choose the easy way or you can choose the hard way. You can listen to your soul, you can listen to God, or you can ignore and ultimately face pain and then learn that lesson later on. I truly think the lessons that you're supposed to learn and experience in life will happen in cycles, and until you change the pattern, until you break that cycle, it's just going to keep going in a loop, and it'll usually, painstakingly so, take pain to get there. And I don't want to sound too harsh and intense, but it really is that serious if you want to stay off. Getting off is one thing, it's not that serious. People do it all the time. Staying off, it really is that serious. It really is, because you know what? It is truly an addiction. It is truly an addiction. And it's going to be studied so much. There's going to be so many articles that come out in the next decade or so talking about it. There's a reason why these billionaires hire nannies to have surveillance on their kids to make sure they stay off their iPads. Like, they know something we don't. Steve Jobs, he always made his kids eat at the table. They would read, they would talk about art. Like, his kids were not allowed to have iPads. I don't know if you guys knew that. Like, somebody asked him in an interview, "Oh, Steve, like, your kids, like, how do they like the iPad?" He's like, "The fuck are you talking about? My kids don't go on iPads." So, something to keep in mind. It really is that serious. From my experience, cold turkey is best. And it's okay to turn to other vices, other coping mechanisms. They could be healthy or unhealthy, but like, there's a balance, there's a give and take. So when I deleted it, I noticed myself, what did I do? I probably spent more money on like side quests and whatnot. So yeah, kind of find other vices, or I did a lot of baking and eating, probably more than I should have, but ultimately it got me to where I am today. So yeah, quit cold turkey. So if that means making daily plans to see friends, spending more on gas money, joining an expensive Pilates class, if you got to do what you got to do, you got to do what you got to do. It's an investment in yourself, in your soul, in your health. So it's worth it. Another thing, ways to stay off of it, I think getting in tune with your soul, and not just yours, but other people's, in the form of community and serving others and volunteering. That's going to be a key thing. So I would recommend actually volunteering for a population you're not familiar with or that society deems as vulnerable, and you'll quickly realize that those people actually live way more expansive and pure and true lives than you would have ever thought, perhaps maybe even more than your own. So some examples of this. 10 the page. Old people, I talked about this before, they have wisdom, wit, adventure, and they know how to listen. They know what you need to hear, and they know how to listen. That is a very rare, highly coveted skill that not many people, from what I've experienced in our generation, possess. Next, young people. They're so pure, they're innocent, they're painfully honest. They're so honest. And it's refreshing. So young people. They keep you young at heart. They make you feel like you can do anything, like anything. Sky's the limit, you know? The imagination of a kid is priceless. Third one, disabled people. So they're honestly they're actually the trailblazers here. So they pave their own path because they don't really have any other option. And it reminds you that you don't have to, but you get to live and experience the life that you live. And you don't have to, but you get to. You get to choose your hard. They don't, but you know what? They've made a kick-ass life out of it. So that's pretty cool too. And that population is very near and dear to my heart. So along with like the physically disabled people, also ASD, special needs, neurodivergent population, very pure hearts, and they will change your perception of the world. The way they see the world is so magical and cool and just full of wonder. Next, homeless. A lot of them in that population are very smart and very resourceful in ways that we don't give them credit for. And let's be honest, this whole system, this whole matrix, BS, whatever, is stacked against the people. And they acknowledge that, and they're not afraid to call it out in real time, in the thick of the matrix. You gotta respect that. You gotta have some manukies to be able to do that. And just serving as God's hands and feet, serving others, giving people opportunities that, you know, everyone's dealt with a different hand of cards. Some people are dealt with a really shit hand of cards. So I think it's a blessing and an honor to be chosen by God to serve others in that way. Next, population that has anything to do with a sort of addiction. So drugs, alcohol, you know, any group setting, support group like that. It probably, the way in which they deal with that addiction will probably hit home in that it's strikingly familiar, that experience dealing with addiction, because in a lot of programs like AA, they have these books, and like they always say the first step to recovery is, I believe it's awareness, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that also holds true to phone addiction and dopamine addiction and social media stuff too. So there's a lot of takeaways. My point is that you can have from these different populations. So with volunteering, I would also recommend investing in a third place. So a place that is home to you that isn't your physical home or work. It's a place that you can go with a group of like-minded people. So this could be the gym, church, a coffee shop, a bar, a club, like a run club, a group, a book club. I don't know, but that's cool too, because you all are grappled together by this common interest that hopefully makes you a better person, but I don't know, but yeah, just having that human experience, being able to share that experience and socialize, I think is really good for our physical and mental health. Next, go to the library. Babe, the amount of people I know who aren't aware that library cards are free as long as it's within the boundaries of the city that you reside. Library cards are free. You don't need to spend $30 at Barnes & Noble on a book or $15 on a Kindle digital book that you'll probably read 3 pages of. Like, library books are free. They stock new books, hundreds of books, every single week. I don't think you understand. Like, sometimes, yes, you have to put one on hold if it's super trendy and like super new and a hot topic and everybody wants to read it. That's fine. Delayed gratification, there's benefits to that. But also, there's so many subjects that people don't even know about. There are entire books dedicated to a certain style or technique of like crocheting or pencil sketching, and it's so in depth, and it really teaches you not just within the binding of the book, but your life around you, how to zoom in and pay attention to detail or zoom out and look at the bigger picture. And I think it's really good for the, not permeability, the malleability of your brain. It's probably really good for neuroplasticity, Go watch Andrew Huberman. He'll explain all about that. Yeah, I think the library is really cool. Not just what it provides, but the space itself. At mine, we got a fireplace, we got some cozy chairs, we got a little kids section so you can watch the kids reading their books, and it's just really refreshing to see because they're not looking at screens. Yeah, find a library. And then another thing of how to stay off. Don't get me wrong, I'm far from perfect. Like, I still will doom scroll. It's not on social media, but it's on like Substack, Pinterest, whatever, YouTube. That's a big one. Everybody asked me in the comments of my last video, like, what about YouTube? How do you stay off of doom scrolling? Pending. Still trying to figure that out. Still something I'm working on because I'm not perfect. Point being, training wheel apps, they're okay. If you restrict yourself too much in any capacity of any form, you're gonna spiral, and then you're just gonna go back and like binge. This can be applied to so many things, but today we're gonna be talking about specifically social media and the apps. Training wheel apps, they're okay. So my training wheel apps, for example, I used to love Instagram and TikToks and posting like little videos and seeing what people are up to. I deleted that cold turkey. But I had training wheel apps to help me like stay off. So those included Pinterest, YouTube, Substack, Reddit, ChatGPT, love to chat it up with chat, Zillow, Airbnb, email, Visco, just like random apps that aren't the best, and they're not at the top of best ways to pass your time, but they're not as bad as social media and what it leads to mentally. My last point, acceptance of relapse. Like, it's gonna happen. You're gonna end up doom scrolling. That's never going away. Be so for real. Like, unless you choose to be a literal monk and go to some third world country, that's not going away, most likely. So just accept that that's gonna happen, and nobody's perfect, but like, do the best you can, and just remember your intention and your reason, your why behind it. You're gonna waste time at some point, babe. Like, that's life. Even cavemen, they just sit around a fire and just like stare at it. I'm sure they got dopamine hits from that in a much different way, but yeah, you get my point. You have to waste time. You're human. You're not a robot. Chill out. So yeah, it's about intentions. Your feelings become your thoughts become ideas become action become your reality, your life. So stay intentional with it. I think those are all my points. Oh no, I had more. Track your progress, so share with others in the comment section here. I'd love to hear about it. I love to ask questions about other people's experience and their journeys, just to compare and maybe see if I can learn from you, see what I can do better. And then keep this in mind. This is actually a really good journal prompt. When you look back at your life in 20 years, what memories do you want to have? Is it this? Or is it like authentic experience? In my other video, I talked about embracing embarrassment. Is it an embarrassing, awkward silence that you overcame and it helped you overcome your social anxiety or your fear of public speaking? It's like, personally, when I look back, I want to see the highs and the lows and just huge story. I don't want to see stagnant. I don't want to see safe. I don't want to see comfort. I want to see beauty, the good, the bad, everything. So that's a good journal prompt to end this with. And just put God and growth at the forefront, even if that means pain, heartbreak, risk, discomfort, mistakes, failure, can eventually be turned into or alchemized into success, celebration, and enjoying the journey. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for letting me yap. I got my family Christmas now. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. So, have a good day. Bye.